In the 1970s, organized crime controlled 75% of the construction industry in New York City. This included the excavating, framing, and plumbing portions of the business. This resulted in a combination of skilled and unskilled workers. If someone wanted to be a successful businessman in New York, they would have to work with an organized crime family. An organization arranged by the Mafia enterprise called the 2% Club would rig contracting bids by demanding a 2% kickback from winning bidders and unions. This 2% Club would split up contracts over $2 million, while jobs over $5 million went to the mob-run company S&A Concrete. Just as the white powder in cocaine was connected to illicit activity and violence, so also was the white powder in concrete. Unlike cement that was sold unprepared in bags, the mob's organization, called the Concrete Club, prepared their concrete for their customers. This included, but was not limited to, dictating where the mixture would be poured. The Concrete Club also arranged for their mixture to be used in excess, even if customers couldn't use it. In addition, if contractors refused to pay their dues on time, there would be a lengthy delay in the next concrete delivery, causing progress to cease. This illegal construction dealings resulted in watered-down materials, which not only jeopardized workers' safety, but in turn caused weaker New York buildings. Because of this, contractors engaged in cash payrolls to avoid paying federal and state taxes, which led to decreased funds for roads and schools. Even Donald Trump, when building the Trump Tower, was forced into paying higher normal prices for the ready-mix cement for the construction to run smoothly. Eventually, Trump became a valuable business partner for Anthony Fat Tony Salerno, who ran the Genovese crime family. In the 1980s, the Mafia family generated about $10 billion in public and private contracts annually. Mafioso, Louis DeBono, was a large man weighing over 300 pounds. Fellow gangsters nicknamed him Jelly Belly because of his large stature. He was considered a major cash earner for the mob in the 1980s, with his drywall business called Mario and DeBono's. However, DeBono wasn't only double-dealing city contractors, but he was believed to be withholding money from the Gambino crime family that he was a member of. Fellow mobster and business partner Sammy the Bull Gravano would regularly hear complaints about DeBono pocketing contract money instead of paying the unions and subcontractors to perform the work. DeBono's shady business deals were even catching the attention of American government officials. In 1989, De Bono secured a lucrative contract with the owners of the Twin Towers to install asbestos-free fireproofing on the steel infrastructures of the towers where the original asbestos foam was removed. Unfortunately, by this time, De Bono was a full-blown drug addict. After securing the fireproof contract through bribery, he pocketed millions of dollars from the funds for the project by skimming on the fireproofing. In some cases, entire floors of the Twin Towers had no fireproofing on the steel girders. The core columns either had no fireproofing or a thin coat. Much of the fireproofing was applied improperly to rusty steel, which would have caused it to not stick properly, rendering almost completely ineffective. However, after cheating fellow mobster and business partner Sammy Gravano and mob leader John Gotti out of the World Trade Center deal, sealed De Bono's fate. So in 1989, a decision was made to get rid of the 63-year-old Gambino soldier. The murder contract was given to Bobby Borello. Borello, standing at a height of 6 foot and 3 inches, started out as a drug trafficker and loan shark in the 1970s. He eventually became a feared enforcer and prominent hitman for the Gallo crime family. De Bono suddenly decided to make himself scarce, which made it difficult for the mob to track him down. However, in 1990, John Gotti and Sammy Gravano received a tip that De Bono could be found at the World Trade Center where his mistress resided. So, the contract killers laid in wait in the North Tower's underground garage and waited for De Bono to show up. As De Bono exited his Cadillac on October 4th, the hitmen shot De Bono 3 times in the head. Afterwards, they discreetly laid his body across the front seat of his Cadillac. His body wasn't discovered until the middle of the afternoon, 3 days later. The news of the murder alarmed many of a major gap in the security at the World Trade Center. Regrettably, 3 years later, a terrorist rented a van, placing a bomb inside, which was then placed in the same parking garage without anyone being the wiser. Then in 1998, Bank of America, situated within the North Tower, was held up and robbed of $1.6 million in cash. This caused the owners of the trade center, the Port Authorities of New York, to privatize the whole World Trade Center. By 1998, terrorist leader bin Laden gave the approval to go forward with the setting up of the plot for the attack on America. Bin Laden not only provided the finances for the 9/11 attacks on America, but was also involved in selecting participants and American targets. Many of the hijackers were recruited from Hamburg, Germany. Over the next couple of years, the hijackers were trained in Western culture, such as how to dress and order food in American restaurants. This was done so they could easily blend in and not raise any suspicion. Illegal passports were provided by some Arabia official for the terrorists to gain entry into the United States. By early July, the CIA received specific information about Al-Qaeda terrorists that had entered the United States. In addition, the FBI learned that strange things were going on at several flight schools in the states of Arizona, Florida, and California. Now believing that something was about to take place on American soil, alerts were sent out to American embassies and police departments, while the Defense Department were instructed to go to Threat Condition Delta.
Exit on that side, straight at the ramp, make a left, enjoy your visit.
Got a New Year's?
When the planes hit the Twin Towers, they not only severed the support columns, but also dislodged the little fireproofing that was on the steel girders. Gallons of jet fuel spewed over the unprotected steel infrastructure, with temperatures reaching more than 1,800 degrees Fahrenheit. The massive weight of the upper floors caused the steel structure to bend under more excessive load of what the columns were designed for. The structural steel became so hot, it caused it to give way, making it the first and the only steel skyscraper in the world to collapse because of fire. The National Institute of Standards and Technology concluded that because of the lack of adequate fireproofing was the reason that the towers were brought down.